introduce yourself, sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm Giancarlo Volpe, and I'm supervising director on The Boys Diabolical.
Not having talked about things in a while, I think that plays into why we had this animated series. Can you talk a little bit about why going with the animated series versus the live action show as a spin-off?
Oh, so I mean, it was very much because of the pandemic. The Boys season 3 was delayed shooting schedule because of the world being shut down, and Eric Kripke and Seth and Evan all collectively wanted to give the fans something to chew on while they're waiting for season 3.
We are so grateful.
I'm glad to hear that. So animation, God bless this art form that I chose. It didn't really slow us down the last couple of years, so we were available and ready to go. So we made some cartoons. I saw a couple people online saying like they made this instead of season 3, and it's like obviously not. That implies that like they somehow trained the entire crew of the Boys to animate instead of film.
They obviously didn't watch the show either.
Right. So yes, that was happening in tandem. In fact, there were times when we couldn't get Eric on the phone because he was busy on set. So we've been doing both.
So I take it there's not a lot of. I'm so sorry.
No.
I was gonna say I take it there's is there connections between season 3 and the spinoff? Or are we looking at a shared well, I mean obviously we're looking at a shared universe, but could we be watching the series 4 clues to season 3 or? There's
a little bit of that. And the only reason why I know that is because there were a couple notes that we got as we were making the show that was like, no, don't do that because we're going to explore that in season 3, so we don't want to repeat ourselves or contradict ourselves. So there's a little bit of that, but in all honesty, I don't fully know what happens in season 3. I have a couple ideas. It's contextually from the directives we got. So
you're frothing a bit like the fans too.
Yeah, I'll probably be as surprised. There may be a couple moments where I'll go, oh, that's why they made me cut that line or something. So it'll be fun.
Now, each of the different episodes had a different type of animation style. Whose idea was that? How did that come about?
I want to say that, some of that sort of predates me being hired, but as I understand it, Seth and Evan and Eric were like, let's make this like Animatrix, or make it like, I don't know if you remember Spike and Mike's Twisted Animation Festival.
Every year in the way.
They wanted it to feel something like that, but in the Boys universe. And so I was like, yeah, let's make it feel like it was 8 different filmmakers, with their unique voice and style. And so the writers all kind of came up with their own ideas and had sort of a short description of this one should kind of feel like anime, or this one should sort of feel like this and that. And then as we hired directors, they helped visualize what that would look like and how to pull it off, and under a very compressed schedule. So
at this point, are the Boys just people are running to work with them, collaborator-wise and guest star-wise? You have Kamal Nanjiani, you've got Awkwafina writing and voicing in here, or was the show reaching out to certain people, and if so, how did they choose their collaborators?
There's clearly some kind of network to draw from, for sure. I mean, there's friends of Seth. I'm sure that was a factor. People are just in his cell phone.
Right.
We were also given a list of celebrities that are fans of the Boys, and it was kind of just a friendly cool. Hey, keep in mind that Method Man really we didn't get Method Man, but
right.
but just these seemingly random celebrities.
I want to be Hostage 3. Let me do
right.
something.
And there was a little bit of that. Some of the people we got were sorry, you're playing just Agua. It's got one word in the entire Orzola.
So there's several different episodes, and you obviously can't say which one's your favorite. I'm going to ask, which one was the most work?
Ooh, the most work.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's a good question.
And you can interpret most work however you like.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things, the Awkwafina episode, for example, ran long. She gave us so much wild lines in the record that it was hard
You
to
had
pick.
to reanimate?
It's hard to pick which take to use, so we were like, trying to use all of them, and then the episode was like 18 minutes long or something. We had to cut it down to make it producible. So that was challenging. I think also there was a little extra tension on 1+1 because it was so faithful to, Eric has since sort of dubbed it like canonical to the series. So that went through several rounds of like making sure that it all worked correctly. So remember that one was like the last one we shipped, and it was like we were all tired and like, oh, gotta get this one done.
Right. Well, that's the episode that Simon wrote and you co-directed.
Right.
On top of it feels very canonical to the show. Is there a reason why Eric allowed it to be done here in this animated short versus covering it in the show? It's an important origin story for Homelander.
It's a great question. I think that originally it was conceived as like a what if type of scenario. Like maybe this could be Homelander's origin, but to Simon's credit, I think he did such a great job that Eric was like, you know what? I'm convinced this happened. This all fits. It works. This is canonical.
It is now.
So So I thought that was really cool.
We're going around in a circle. Let's take a second to talk about one of the more poignant episodes. And while I am drawing a blank on the name, the cancer episode. That one was probably the most powerful. You don't expect to see something like that in the boys' universe. What inspired that for you guys? Like that was so different in tone, and it was really well done and beautiful and sad. Like.
Yeah, I would imagine that Andy, he chose that subject matter. So there must have been, I can only assume, we didn't pry that he's got a personal, story. I think a lot of us do. Just wanted it to an interesting hook. Like, could you use Compound V to cure cancer? And it's at its core, not a cynical take on the boys' universe, because a lot of it, and I say this with affinity, the boys is sort of a cynical take on corporations and power and greed and all that. This is like, a flip on that. It's like, what if you could use this power to actually help people? And, it's really just a beautiful episode. I'm so happy with that, especially the way Steve On directed it. It's just really proud of that one.
Is that something you could see people doing in like future seasons, and just trying to bring less of a cynical, less of a Disney, less of a cynical take on that kind of stuff, and do more personal, more explorative stuff?
Well, do you mean sort of in entertainment in general, or specifically on The Boys?
Oh, specifically on The Boys.
That's a good question. I mean, I'd like to think that that resonates with everyone, where it's like, oh yeah, we can also do that. I think it would make the show that much richer if you have moments of like, I can actually help someone with my powers, a little more contrast with it,
Excellent. Yeah, no.
Homelander's assholery.
Thanks, everyone. I'm going to start right now.
Oh, cool. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.